Live from the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II men's basketball coverage. Today's non-conference matchup features the Pace University Setters taking on the College of Staten Island Dolphins. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman alongside Nick Durst. And Nick, the Dolphins come in struggling, still in search of their first win of the season at 0-5. They dropped their last game 84-69 when they took on Adelphi University last week.
Yeah, Joe, the Dolphins, they certainly want to be the head of the table at the standings in the win column, but right now, today, they're just looking for a seat at the table so they can be acknowledged. And it's really going to come down to some key players. Tough loss last game out against Adelphi, dropping it. They lost 84-69, but it was really a tale of two halves. And, wow, I think if they want to keep pace with the Pace Setters today offensively, need to rely on Bryce Waterman, who was just unconscious at points in the second half, draining so many three-pointers.
Well, Waterman had himself a fantastic game, 28 points, 7 of 13 from beyond the arc. At one point, Nick, he set the building on fire with 4 straight three-pointers.
Yeah, the building was electric. It was middle of the week, so not many people here, but it got loud in here. They made a nice run, the Dolphins, to come back against Adelphi, and he just had an incredible game. Also, Messiah Mallory played very well, 1 rebound short of a double-double, 13 points, 9 rebounds, 6 alone from the field. Really efficient shooting. Max Dillon Butler had a good game as well, 11 points. And overall, I said it before, a tale of two halves. 15-0 runs in the second half for the Dolphins, and they did a great job shooting in the second half. They upped it to 47%, but Adelphi's first half was just too good, 61% shooting from the field, and ultimately that was enough for them to hold off the Dolphins' charge in the second half.
Well, the Dolphins had a lot of trouble slowing down that Adelphi offense last week. We'll have another tough offense to contend with in today's game as Pace University comes in unbeaten on the season.
Yeah, Pace University 7-0, doing a great job. They actually played a scrimmage game against the Syracuse Orange on the Carrier Dome. They did lose, but not too badly, and that's a great D1 team, as we know, with Jim Behan. And overall, like I said, came in 7-0. In their last game, they won 75-61 against St. Rose, who we saw here, of course, in the Tournament of Heroes. So obviously, really tough competition here for the Dolphins.
Well, the Dolphins have come a long way since that Tournament of Heroes matchup with the College of St. Rose. For the Dolphins, that was their second game of the season on day 2 of the tournament, but it seems as if this Dolphins team has begun to take some steps in the right direction. What did you see in that second half against Adelphi that you liked from this Dolphins team?
Yeah, I really liked the ball movement. They were not settling for off-balance in traffic shots, getting the ball on the perimeter. That's how Waterman got his shot. That's how Butler got some nice looks on some drives to the hoop. Need to see more of that and less of driving to the basket on off-balance, awkward shot. And that's the reason why the field goal percentage changed big time. It was 31% in the first half. They were forcing shots. Second half, spreading the ball around, close to 50% from the field. And the threes were falling. We know the Dolphins here, they're a make-or-break team when it comes to three-pointers. So if they can make those three-pointers, that's going to be key. We saw Waterman emerge as a really hot three-point shooter. An interesting storyline to keep an eye on today is the fact that in that last game, Austin Mick did not get much playing time in the second half. We know he is their best three-point shooter. So we'll see how the rotation shakes out here today. A lot of players are also getting healthy for the Dolphins, so we'll see if we have some additional season debuts tonight or what.
We will have to double-check ahead of tip-off, but as of right now, it does appear that every player on the Dolphins roster is active for the first time this season. And you mentioned a storyline coming out of the Dolphins last game, Nick. Austin Mick did not play late in the second half of the Dolphins' last game, and I spoke about it a bit during that broadcast. It seems as if it's either Mick or Waterman getting the majority of the looks from three-point range. We'll see if they can find some balance between those two during today's game, but Mick is back into the starting lineup, and going back to that last game one final time against Adelphi, it was really defense leading to offense in that second half. Of the Dolphins came up with a lot of big stops and were able to keep the Panthers taking shots from beyond the arc. We'll see if that's something something they can replicate today against a pace team that shoots the ball very well, in particular, their leading scorer, Brian Powell.
Yeah, Brian Powell has been tremendous this season. He's averaging almost 17 points per game, 16.8. And what's really incredible is he's shooting almost 70% from field goal range this season, which is a really strong number, and 55% from three-point range. So they're going to have to get a hand in his face because he is going to be looking to shoot. And his last game, he had 27 points and 6 rebounds. So it's going to be a tough stop here for the Dolphins.
And not only did Powell have a great night at the offensive end, but the Setters were able to hold Shane Odell of the College of St. Rose to only 11 points. We spoke about Odell during our last broadcast when the Dolphins took on Adelphi. CSI had a very tough time containing him. DeUville had a very tough time containing him during the Tournament of Heroes played here back in November. So if that's a testament to how this Setters team plays defense on the inside, the Dolphins will certainly have their hands full trying to score in the paint tonight.
Yeah, Shane Odell during that tournament was giving the opposition hell. He was scoring with ease, shooting three-pointers nonstop. So if they're able to hold him to 11 points, Pace University is going to be very tough matchup here for the Dolphins. Joe, what do you think the Dolphins need to do to keep pace offensively with Pace University?
Well, for the Dolphins, they need to convert on their open shot attempts. A lot of those Dolphin misses turn into fast breaks the other way, transition baskets. They certainly can't afford to turn the ball over. That's a given. But first and foremost, we saw the Dolphins get back into their last game at the offensive end of the floor. It was a 15-0 run that brought CSI to within 10. After a 15-0 run, the Dolphins still trailed by 10 points. So they were behind by 25 if you do the math very quickly. And the Dolphins can't afford to find themselves behind against a very tough pace team by 25 points. It all begins at the offensive end of the floor for this Dolphins squad. We saw what they could do in the second half when they shot the ball far better against Adelphi than they did in half number one. You mentioned it, 47% in the second half, only 31 in the first half. The Dolphins will need to be up around that 50% mark perhaps in order to keep pace with the Setters here this afternoon.
Absolutely, Joe. And after the break in a few minutes, we're going to come back with the starting lineup. Very curious to see who the starting five are for the Dolphins. It will be the usual starting five, or will things change after what we saw the last game end?
Well, I'm glancing up at the scoreboard, so I have a bit of a cheat sheet, Nick. You're facing the other direction, though.
Go ahead, give it to them.
There is a second scoreboard over my right shoulder, but taking a look over Nick's shoulder, the Dolphins starting lineup will be Chris Velasquez, Austin Mick, Bryce Waterman, Messiah Mallory, and Josh
So no
Vargas.
change there.
So no change.
Five.
Same starting five for the Dolphins, and starters will officially be introduced out on the court behind us in just a few moments. So Nick and I will step aside and take a break. When we come back, the official introduction of today's starting lineups and the start of today's NCAA Division II men's basketball matchup between the College of Staten Island Dolphins and the Pace University Setters right here on the ECC Network.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the ring cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Ball matchup today.
You Know I'm Right is a one-of-a-kind podcast that consistently features prominent guests in the sports, media, and entertainment industries. On the show, hosts Nick and Joe chronologically walk guests through the retelling of their origin stories, covering an array of topics from specific interests and hobbies to personal opinions regarding each facet of their industry. You Know I'm Right offers insight on how to adapt and advance, and offers alternative advice as opposed to a one-size-fits-all strategy. Above all else, the number one goal of You Know I'm Right is to offer listeners an exclusive behind-the-scenes vantage point not found anywhere else through its increasing list of professional connections. With an outreach that continues to grow daily, You Know I'm Right is transforming into a must-listen podcast in the right place at the right time. Find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You do not want to miss an episode. You Know I'm Right.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
From Middletown, New York, number 24, Brian Powell. The head coach of the Senators is Matt Healing. The assistants are John Mercius and Sean Bergolfi. And now, the starting lineup for our CSI Dolphins.
And we are back from the tank. The College of Staten Island getting set to take on the Pace University Setters, as I made my way back in from next door. We also have a swim meet going on today over at the pool.
Full tank today, Joe.
It is certainly a full house in the tank as we await the introduction of the Dolphins starting lineups, but it sounds like we may be having a technical issue with the music selection for the CSI starters. But Nick, you do have the starting lineup for both teams in front of you as the music begins playing. Nick, take it away.
All right, in numerical order for the Pace University Setters. Number 5, the junior forward from New Haven, Connecticut, Christian Adams. Number 10, the graduate guard from Cambria Heights, New York, Brandon Jacobs. Number 12, the senior forward from Saddle Brook, New Jersey, Mark Gaika. And then the Powell brothers, number 14, Brandon Powell from Middletown, New York, the junior guard. And number 24, Brian Powell, the junior forward from Middletown, New York.
Your head coach of the Dolphins is Nick Doran.
We mentioned it during the pregame, Nick. The starting lineup for the Dolphins is the same lineup that we have seen from CSI in all of their games this year. And the Dolphins do come in trending in the right direction. Some very big losses early in the year through their first 3 games, but have taken on tough teams in back-to-back contests, dropped both of those games by less than 20 points, and in the second half of each of those games, the Dolphins hung right with the opposition, first against Damon College, and then last week against Adelphi University. So some good reason for optimism surrounding this Dolphins team, but their opponent is not one of those reasons for optimism. Pace University, perhaps the toughest opponent the Dolphins have faced all year.
Certainly, and the starting 5 here for the Dolphins is going to have to come out scoring early. And if you missed the pregame show, we have Chris Velasquez, Austin Mick, Bryce Waterman, Messiah Mallory, and Josh Vargas, the starting 5 for your CSI Dolphins.
And the Setters do win the tip. Pace University basketball to get things started from the College of Staten Island. 7-0 Setters taking on the 0-5 Dolphins. Top, that was Datica. He swings it over to the left wing for Jacobs. Jacobs working against Velasquez. He takes it inside, picks up his dribble. He's double teamed, has the ball knocked away, and the scoop layup attempt is no good.
Good defense there by the Dolphins to deny Brandon Jacobs.
Austin Mick continuing to run the point for CSI. He finds Bryce Waterman on the right wing. Waterman uses the Vargas screen. Now Velasquez for Mick in the corner. 10 to shoot for the Dolphins. This is Mick up top to Waterman. He dribbles inside the arc. Bounce pass to Mallory. 5 to shoot. Mid-range pull-up by Messiah Mallory is good.
Mallory getting the Dolphins on the board right away. And a great job on the first offensive possession to move that ball around by the Dolphins.
First points of the game belong to CSI. They lead 2-0. That was Powell handing off to Jacobs. Jacobs back to Powell. Powell on the drive, floater. Finds nothing but glass. That shot way off. And here come the Dolphins the other way. In the corner, that's Mick up top to Mallory. Mallory working along the left baseline. This is Waterman, left wing three-pointer. Bounces off iron twice, and the rebound is tipped out by Vargas.
Great job there by Vargas to stay with that.
Mallory will try a three, and Messiah is quickly 2 for 2.
Mallory off to the hot start here, Joe. 5 quick points for him. And right now it's Mallory 5, everybody else 0.
Dolphins lead it 5-0. Just shy of 2 minutes into the first half. This is Powell. Over to Datica. Datica hands off to Jacobs. Jacobs drives, kicks into the left corner. Open three-pointer for Powell. And that one is off the mark.
This is what you want if you're the Dolphins here. He's starting here.
Just to be clear, Brandon Powell wearing number 14. Brian Powell wearing number 24. That was Brian on that last three-point attempt. This is Mick on the drive. Finds Waterman in the corner. 10 to shoot for CSI. Mallory, right wing. Takes it in toward the paint. Turnaround jumper. A good open look by Mallory. And he's 3 for 3. Timeout Pace.
Joe Mallory was close to that ball for a good 10 seconds. He wanted it. He's feeling it. And 7 points for him to start the game. Couldn't have asked for anything better here if you're the Dolphins.
What a start for Messiah Mallory and the Dolphins as the Setters are forced to call an early timeout. We do apologize for our scoreboard having the Adelphi University logo and mascot. That is an error. We will get that taken care of as soon as we can during the next break. But for the Dolphins so far in this game, a great start for Messiah Mallory. He has accounted for all of the Dolphins' offense, and he has done it in a variety of ways. A mid-range pull-up, a mid-range turnaround jumper, and a three-pointer, as we have seen Mallory step beyond the arc several times this season, specifically over the last couple of games for the Dolphins. So the Dolphins certainly like to see that from their freshmen, as the Setters were forced to regroup during that timeout. We will see if they can turn things around in the opening minutes following the stoppage. Adams gives it up and receives it right back from Datica. Shot clock already down to 10 seconds. Posting up is Brian Powell, and he has the first points of the afternoon for Pace. 7-2 our score. Just over 3 minutes into the first half. This is Mick. He uses the Vargas screen. Mick dribbles into the paint. Left-handed layup attempt is blocked. And here come the Setters. That's Jacobs finding Brandon Powell. His deep three-pointer grazes the front rim, and that will be Dolphins basketball. Once again, 7-2 our score. Just over 16 and a half minutes to play in the first half as we are trying to get our logo situation on the scoreboard taken care of. We should have that done within the next few minutes, if not during the next TV timeout. This is Vargas on the drive, and he is stripped by Powell. Pace will slow it down across center court. This is Jacobs. Hand off to Brandon Powell, right back to Jacobs. Jacobs takes it inside, has it knocked away, but it will remain Setters basketball. 16:04 to go in the first half. 14 to shoot for Pace. They inbound from along the baseline. This is Brandon Powell up to Datica. Now Jacobs drives against Velasquez, and he is rejected by Messiah Mallory. An emphatic swat by Mallory. He is off to a tremendous start at both ends of the floor. This is Mick. He thought about a three. Mallory left wing. Back to Mick. Waterman in the corner. 13 to shoot for CSI. This is Velasquez. Velasquez will call for a screen. Vargas on the roll, and Vargas took a shot inside, and the setters are whistled for a blocking foul underneath, and with that, we will have our first commercial break of the afternoon. So heading into our first break, a bit of a surprising score, perhaps for fans of both teams. The Dolphins leading 7-2, just over 4.5 minutes into the first half.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back from the College of Staten Island. The Dolphins leading Pace University by a score of 7-2. And for Messiah Mallory, it is a 3 of 3 start from the floor. He also has a block at the other end. And the Dolphins freshman has gotten off to a tremendous start as the setters were forced to call a timeout and regroup just a couple of minutes ago. And coming out of this TV timeout, it is CSI inbounding from the baseline. This is Mick driving from the right corner. He finds Waterman, head fake. Three-pointer is short and rebounded by Christian Adams. Matt Constant into the game for Pace University. As we are continuing to work on that logo issue on our scoreboard, I promise we will have that sorted out. Three-pointer, no good by Brandon Powell. Rebound to the Dolphins, and for the setters in this game so far, it has been a rough start from the field. 1 of 6. This is Waterman again from 3, and he buries it from the left corner as the Dolphins extend their lead to 8 points.
Waterman missed a shot earlier, but trying to pick up where he left off last game.
Dolphins lead by 8 points, their largest lead. That's Adams for 3, and that's off the front iron and knocked out of bounds by Pace. So it will be Dolphins ball leading by 8, and CSI has an early opportunity to extend the lead to double figures.
Yes, Joe, we want to thank everybody for sticking with us. We now have the updated logo and team name on the scoreboard, so we apologize to all Pace setters, fans, and alumni.
Dolphins will attempt another 3. That's Velasquez. Way too strong on the shot. But Mallory snatches the board, puts up the mid-range jumper that rattles out. Ashley fighting for it underneath with Adams. And I believe we had a jump ball called underneath, and possession will stay with the Dolphins.
Well, Joe, for Coach Duran, you could not have drawn up the start to the game any better than this.
We said it during the pregame, Nick. The Dolphins had to get off to a better start this afternoon, and they have done just that, as CSI has found themselves behind early on more than one occasion this season. This is Mick, open three-pointer from the right wing, a bit too strong, and the rebound goes to Brandon Jacobs. Jacobs drives to his left, thought about a pull-up, instead feeds it inside, and Dominic Cristiano was fouled. He will head to the line for 2.
Overall, Joe, Dolphins have come out. They played some pretty solid defense, and the shots have not fallen early for the Setters.
Following that last miss on their previous possession, the Setters dropped to 1 of 7 from the floor. That's a much-needed point from the free throw line right there, as the Setters need offense any way they can get it early in this game. The shots just have not been falling through the first 6 minutes plus. Cristiano goes 2 of 2 from the line as Setters looking to press a little bit here. Velasquez trapped along the sideline, able to find Mick. Dolphins with 20 to shoot. Mick uses the Mallory screen. This is Velasquez. Velasquez wanted a cut. His pass is knocked down, and you can see it, Nick. The Setters turning up the defensive intensity here.
Absolutely, and the Dolphins, they can't get too relaxed here with this early 6-point lead. They need to be more aggressive right now. They need to continue to play tough defense, and they need to, most importantly, convert and score every chance they get.
Mallory back to the basket, kick out to Velasquez. Now Mick, he will try a three-pointer, and Austin Mick knocks down the 3.
For 3.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba! Mick's loving it. Tough shot attempt there, but Austin has no issues. Gets the handoff pass from Velasquez and is able to drain a 3.
That is our first Mickey 3 of the afternoon. This is Powell. Kick out, three-pointer by Constant, and he has an answer at the other end.
Well, there's one constant in this game, and that's Matt. And it's Constant. He's going to come back with a 3.
Mick will try another 3, and that's 2 in a row for Austin Mick.
Austin, I know I said Mick, with 2 back-to-back sick big-time 3s.
That's a McDouble from three-point range, and the Dolphins are back in front by 9. Jacobs feeds it inside. Cristiano, left-handed hook, no good off glass, and rebounded by Waterman. Dolphins with another chance to go up double digits. Waterman will try a 3. That's short, and rebounded by the Setters.
Tough look there for Waterman.
That was as contested a look as the Dolphins could take that early in the shot clock, but Waterman has had no problem knocking those down. This is Constant again, and he knocks down another 3.
Constant is constantly coming back with 3s here. Might be somebody to keep an eye on here moving forward.
Constant and Mick going back and forth from downtown. Seems like we have some assistant coaches to our right in the stands. As you see that first Mick three-pointer from the wing. And by coaches, I mean some fans trying to will the Setters on defensively as Mick is open again, and he makes it 3 in a row.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba! Truly a Mickey 3 there, because that's a Mick triple right there, Joe. 3 3s for Austin Mick here early in the game.
Austin Mick, 3 of 3 from beyond the arc. And the Dolphins lead by 9. That's Constant again for 3, right over Mick.
Mick, Constant, Mick, Constant, Mick, Constant. Back and forth, back and forth. The 3s are falling right now in the gym.
What an entertaining start to this game as the two teams trade 3s. And Mick is fouled by Constant. So we will finally get a chance to take a breather as we are going to have a media timeout. And
we'll see both of those last 3s, Mick, and then we'll watch it in real time here as the Setters come back. Taking their time, dribbling up the court. But watch out, because Constant is about to get open. Off this pass right here to point guard, back up to Constant from deep downtown, and he drains it.
And despite the screen, Mick did not give Constant that much space to shoot. But Constant and Mick have been fantastic so far here in this first half. We will take a quick break. When we come back, Dolphins by 6.
Car is damaged. Where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body. at 718-447.
And we are back from the tank. A thrilling start to this game if you're a fan of three-point shooting, as Austin Mick and Matt Constant have gone back and forth on 6 straight scoring possessions, each of them with 3 3-pointers. Mick 3 of 4 from beyond the arc, Constant 3 of 3.
Yeah, Joe, it's been incredible here, and the Dolphins on pace to have their highest scoring half, or first half at least, of the season.
Well, points have been tough to come by, especially in the first half for this Dolphins team so far this year. Their season high in points did come in their last game against the Delphi. They scored 69 in that matchup with the Panthers, as Mallory on the low post is fouled and will head to the line for 2.
2 big free throws here, and as you can see on the screen, our sports information department contact, Joe Masha, making his way in. Busy day for him here at the tank, as he is also supervising the swimming meet.
Busy day for Joe, as I was trying to facilitate communication between the pool and the gym, but all hands now on deck here at the gymnasium, and the Dolphins now with a 7-point lead following that first free throw by Mallory. He now has 8 points. Also notable, that last foul on Brian Powell was his second, so he is relegated to the bench as Max Dillon Butler quickly makes an impact, earning the Dolphins another possession. Ashley is stripped underneath, but it will remain Dolphins ball.
Incredible rebound there by Max Dillon Butler. Interesting to note there, Joe, usually the Dolphins on the second free throw attempt back off, get ready to play defense. At that time, they were ready to crash the offensive boards, and it paid off.
This is Mallory, and he has a lot of space on the baseline. Open pull-up is too short, and that is tipped out of bounds by Adams. It will remain CSI basketball.
20 seconds here to shoot here for the Dolphins, so good job by them in this trip down the court.
On the floor for CSI, Max Dillon Butler, the inbounder. That's Mick. This is Mallory. That's Max Dillon Butler. And that's Luis Armas. So the Dolphins make it easy for me as all 5 Dolphins touch the ball, or at least 4 out of 5. Michael Ashley, the 5th. Here comes Armas on the drive. Tough shot as he attempted a floater from almost behind the backboard. Here comes Constant. He takes it all the way to the rim, and that was a wild attempt. And a Dolphin definitely got a piece underneath. Here comes Mallory. Mallory picks up his dribble, is stripped. Constant with the save, and the setters will head back the other way.
Constant has constantly been a thorn in the Dolphins' side so far today.
This is Jacobs. Bounce pass underneath, and Datica is fouled. Foul charge to Michael Ashley of CSI. That is his second, so 2 early fouls for Ashley. And he is being called to the bench. Now, I don't know if he's taking a seat. He will.
David Shkolny checked into the game.
Shkolny on defense right here against Adams. Adams with a turnaround jumper, and that one not close. The follow by Datica also no good, and the Dolphins' defense early in this game has been stifling. Mallory given space, and he makes him pay as he knocks down another 3.
Mallory with a little hesitation there, a little head fake, got the defender to back up a step, had some space and drains the 3.
Dolphins by double digits. Their lead is 10. Mallory 4 of 5, 2 of 2 from downtown. That 3-pointer by Jacobs is no good. And it will be Dolphins basketball as Adams was unable to make the save.
We'll take a look at this last 3-pointer by Mallory to give the Dolphins a 10-point lead. And Joe, I don't know if I'm mistaken here, but this might be the largest lead of the season for the Dolphins.
No doubt about it, Nick. It certainly is the largest lead of the year for CSI. As Mallory is a big reason why the Dolphins find themselves in front by double digits right now. This is Mick, also a big part of the reason why CSI leads. Mallory tries another 3. That one off the mark. It's tipped away and unable to make the save. We're the setters.
And it'll be Dolphins ball.
Adelaide Oyakemi making his way halfway up up the bleacher stairs as the Dolphins nearly turn it over on the inbound. And
right now, Joe, the fan coaches to your left, to your right rather, very quiet.
Good hustle there by Oyakanmi to try and earn the Setters another possession. And they nearly came up with the steal on the inbound. 5 to shoot for the Dolphins, and number 5 puts up his 5th three-pointer. It is short. And here come the Setters back the other way. This is Powell for 3, too long, and Mallory has the board.
Mallory, a lot of points here today, but also is doing a good job on the defensive end and with rebounding.
Mick for Armas. That pass intercepted, and laying it in is Oyakanmi.
Bad pass there by Mick. Easy layup in transition there off the steal for Pace.
Dolphins by 8. Just over 8 minutes to go in the first half. This is Mick. This is Mallory. Mallory drives. Nice Euro step inside, and he finishes the finger roll.
Beautiful move there by Mallory to get to the basket off the Euro step and lay it up and in.
What a start for Messiah Mallory. He has not slowed down since the opening jump, as we have an offensive foul underneath, and another look at that Mallory Euro step. What a move. And we have another media timeout upcoming inside of 8 minutes to go in the first half. The Dolphins leading by 10. More NCAA Division II men's basketball on the other side of this break.
For me, just kind of was the glue that kept my family together, I feel like. I don't know what it was that drew me in, but after I started playing for a while and started seeing some early success as a little kid, to see how much it meant to my parents to see me play the game and try to make a difference was really what fueled me to keep playing and stay competitive. Being a triple major is not necessarily easy, but at the same time it is what you make it. Being a tighter-knit university, I have a lot of classes with the same professors, so they know me pretty well. I think it's that personal relationship that really helped me to thrive as a student. I was able to come here and get my triple major, as well as play a super high level of baseball against some of the best players in the country. There's a lot of options here in Division II with a lot of great ball players and a lot of great people, and they make sure that they give you every opportunity to succeed on and off the field.
.751 on the clock in this first half between the Dolphins and the Setters. CSI with a 10-point lead, just under 8 minutes to go in the first half. And Nick, the Dolphins have done well just about everything that we highlighted during the pregame. Great defense, shot making, not falling behind early. Check all 3 boxes for CSI.
Absolutely, and also not even close to being in foul trouble at this point. So great job all around here by the Dolphins, and a 10-point lead with a little under 8 minutes left here.
And Butler is called for traveling. He did not lift his pivot foot on that one, Nick.
And Vargas, he wanted that ball. Butler hesitated, ended up calling the travel foul, but Vargas was wide open down there at the baseline.
Dolphins have done a good job navigating the press from the Setters. Haven't been forced into a turnover yet, as CSI nearly came away with a steal there. That's Powell inside for Datica. Count the basket and one, and Datica will head to the line for one more.
Well, that whole thing there started off with the fact that Butler was called for the travel. There certainly was some hesitation there, but certainly close. Nonetheless, Pace got the ball. Now they come back down, and Datica is shooting the free throws.
Well, you said it, Nick. The Dolphins not in foul trouble. They cannot afford to get any of their bigs in foul trouble. And right now, the only Dolphin with more than a foul is Michael Ashley. They could certainly use him underneath right now, as Armas has an open three, a bit long, and rebounded by Powell. Here comes Pace the other way. That pass right on target, rolls off the fingertips of Datica. He is swarmed in the left corner, gets it out. This is Powell. Crossover to the right. Down goes Shkolny, and he is whistled for the blocking foul.
Well, Joe, since I said Dolphins are doing a good job with the fouls, 2 quick fouls here. Waterman's going to check back into the game here. Ashkelon will go to the bench.
On the floor for the Dolphins, Butler, Velasquez, Waterman, Vargas, and Armas. Powell, Adams, Oyekanmi, Datica, and I know I'm missing one setter.
And of course, we
and
have
he's the inbounder.
We have our sweeper on the court right now. Only one sweeper today, so he had to come running across. Good job by him.
That's Dennis Cotticelli sweeping the floors for us today of men's soccer and men's track and field as well. And that ball knocked over the baseline by the setters. It will be Dolphins basketball. .650 to play in the first half. Dolphins lead is 7 as Butler was stripped from behind and that pass was tipped into the Pace bench. So it will be setters basketball following that Dolphins turnover.
Austin Mick back into the game. Max Dillon Butler to the bench.
I think the big question right now is where do the Dolphins turn for offense without Messiah Mallory on the floor? Austin Mick has gotten off to a great start, but Mallory draws a lot of attention inside the arc as Velasquez defends that shot nicely. Jacobs drove all the way to the rim, couldn't finish, and the Dolphins have 22 to shoot. This is Mick. Open 3, right wing off the mark, and rebounded by Pace. Dolphins now 9 of 21 from the floor. That has dropped since the opening minutes as CSI comes away with the strip underneath. Dolphins haven't allowed anything easy under the rim. And Armas is fouled as Vargas had dunking on his mind right there.
Clearly a foul there, blocking Armas's path to the basket. Reset the shot clock here to 21, and Velasquez will inbound.
We spoke about the shooting of this Pace team during the pregame. Right now, they are only 6 of 20, 30% from the floor in the game, and right now they find themselves down by 7 as a result.
Messiah Mallory checked into the game for Luis Armas, so starting 5 out there for the Dolphins.
And we have another turnover, and Mallory with another rejection. As trapped in the corner is Jacobs, and he feeds it underneath to Martin Mann, who lays it in.
Nice job there by Mallory to get back to reject that, but ultimately Pace able to convert.
Jordan Fox on the floor as well for Pace. He was defending Mick, and Mick nearly threw it away there. Waterman comes up with it. 10 to shoot for the Dolphins. Mick out to Velasquez. Corner 3-pointer. Rolls off the rim and is rebounded by Pace. Dolphins have gone cold as number 32, Justin O'Neill, also checked in for the first time. He grabbed that last board for the setters. Oyekanmi up top to Mann. This is Fox. Now O'Neill. O'Neill hands off to Jacobs. Feed inside to O'Neill, and he lays it in.
Only a 3-point game now, Joe. Dolphins offense has gone cold here.
Well, Mallory is back in the game as Waterman will try a 3 from the corner, and nothing but net on that attempt by Waterman.
Bryce, baby. Second 3 of the game for Bryce Waterman.
That a big momentum killer for the setters as they pulled to within 3 following a 7-0 run. Dolphins break that run up with the 3-pointer right there. This is Jacobs, and he has it knocked away again. Wanted a foul call and does not get it. The Pace fans to my right wanted the call as well as Mallory can't connect on the 3. He goes down, and here come the setters. This is Jacobs. And a foul was called against Chris Velasquez.
Pace University head coach Matt Healing not happy. He might get teed up here as he's no technical there, but he's not happy with the referee.
Well, Healing was having an animated discussion with the official to no avail, though he did get that last call, wanted a couple of calls underneath that did not come, but for the Dolphins, the lead is 5 officially on the scoreboard. That last Waterman shot was ruled a 2-pointer. So when we come back, our score, 27-22 CSI, just under 4 minutes to play in the first half.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
And we are back from the College of Staten Island, 3:59 to go in the first half, and the Dolphins' lead is 5, and that last Waterman 3-pointer, as I mentioned ahead of the break, was ruled a 2. So with that, our score 27-22. Media timeout brought us into our last break, but the Dolphins have gotten it done at both ends of the floor so far, have played very well defensively. We said it at the top of the show. They needed to come out strong at that end of the floor. Check at the offensive end. They got off to a hot start from the floor, but have cooled down just a bit since. CSI now 10 of 24, shooting just shy of 42%. The Setters shooting just shy of 35% from the field.
Dolphins here need to close out this half strong and continue to play strong defense and make some more shots, and that's some good defense there, denying the inbound. And the inbound pass by Brandon Jacobs doesn't even go inbounds. It goes straight out of bounds, and there'll be a turnover, and the Dolphins will get the ball.
Interim Director of Athletics TJ Tibbs liking that one as he is seated among the fanatics behind the Dolphins bench. CSI with possession, leading by 5. This is Mick. Mick working against Constant. We saw these two go back and forth earlier. This is Mallory back to the basket once again, working along the left baseline. Has Velasquez 10 to shoot. Velasquez was fouled as that 3-pointer will not count, and the foul is charged to Brandon Jacobs. That's his first.
Dolphins here. Hopefully they're able to do a better job in the inbounds before the inbounds did get deflected away.
Dolphins 1 foul away from the 1-and-1 situation with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. This is Velasquez, now Waterman. 12 to shoot for CSI, and we have a foul underneath, and that's number 7, Nick. So Josh Vargas will head to the line for a 1-and-1, and if you're the Setters, with the Dolphins having struggled at the offensive end for the last couple of minutes, that's not a foul you want to commit.
Yeah, off-ball foul as well.
And Vargas with a perfect free throw on his first attempt from the line. For Vargas, that point his first of the game. And he makes it a 2-for-2 trip to the stripe. Dolphins back in front by 7.
Great job there by Vargas to step to the free throw line and take advantage of the 1-on-1 opportunity.
That feed into the corner, an errant pass by Martin Mann. And it will once again be Dolphins basketball as the Setters struggling with turnovers these last couple of minutes. That one, their 4th.
It's tough for Martin Mann, who gets sent to the bench after that turnover. Dominic Cristiano back into the game here for Pace.
Pace winning the turnover battle right now. The Dolphins with 6. Setters with 4. Mick uses a Waterman screen. Waterman wanted the ball there. He gets it at the top of the arc. 3-pointer rattles out. Vargas goes down hard. He got fingertips on that rebound, but Vargas charging back the other way. Constant for 3. And that rattles out. Rebound tipped in the air. Vargas diving to the floor. Here comes Velasquez. He finds Mick. Mick is rejected as that one is sent into the tunnel by Dominic Cristiano.
Well, Joe, a heck of an effort by Vargas. Going for the offensive rebound, gets taken to the floor, hustles back on the other end, gets the defensive rebound, loses it, goes diving to the floor to pass it ahead to Velasquez, who gives it ahead to Mick. Mick rejected, but the Dolphins will maintain possession here.
Vargas went down hard. You have to love that effort from him. And you can tell, Nick, the Dolphins are energized right now after this great start. And the effort has been consistent for the first 17 and a half minutes. This is Mallory, and he is emphatically shoved by Oyekanmi. He will head to the line for a 1-and-1.
Dolphins will take that all the rest of the half here. No problem. Easily going to the line. And the bench sparked with excitement and loving the hustle of their teammate, Josh Vargas.
Mallory's first free throw is good, and the Dolphins making the most of their attempts from the line. They've hit the last 3 and are now 4 of 5 in the game from the charity stripe. One more to come for Mallory, and his second attempt is good.
Dolphins 4 for 4, the last 4 shots here at the line ever since that they went into the bonus.
2.5 to play in the first half. Dolphins back in front by 9. This is Powell, top of the arc now, Jacobs. Jacobs has had the ball in his hands a lot so far in this game. Oyekanmi may have gotten away with a travel, and that's a great feed inside, and Cristiano throws down the two-handed slam.
Good ball movement. Cristiano ends up open in the low post and is able to slam it home.
Setters need more easy baskets like that right now. Matt Constant has been the only one who's been able to get some jump shots to fall. This is Mallory for Velasquez. Mid-range pull-up, and Velasquez was fouled, so he will head to the line for 2 shots. And with that, the next foul committed against CSI will put them into the double bonus.
And real quick here, we'll take a look at that nice play by Pace that ended with the slam.
Doesn't get any easier than that for the Setters on that last dunk, as Velasquez is good on the first free throw. Supporters of the Setters saying that last call was a hometown call.
Interesting, Joe. I don't know if these referees are actually from Victory Boulevard and live in Staten Island.
Good question. Perhaps for halftime, if we can get that information, but they may be a bit biased to our right. Dolphin supporters seated behind the CSI bench. Velasquez, 1 of 2 from the line. Dolphins lead by 8. Just under 1.5 minutes to go in the first half. This is Cristiano. Air ball, tipped and rebounded by Mallory.
Vargas all over Cristiano there. Nice job defensively.
Vargas, hook shot, off the mark. This is Powell. Now Constant. This is Jordan McAllister, who just checked in for the first time. Here comes Powell on the drive. Drop off to Cristiano. Count the basket and 1. As Cristiano gave it a flex after converting on that basket, he will head to the line for 1 more.
Cristiano energized after that. The opportunity here for the N1 and the ability to cut the deficit to 5 with under a minute left here in the first half.
Well, after the hot start by Matt Constant, who has 9 points, Cristiano has really taken over the scoring for Pace. With that last free throw, he now has 7. Dolphins' lead is back down to 5 points.
And we'll see if the Dolphins go for a 2-for-1 opportunity here, Joe.
Unless CSI shoots at the very last possible second, chances are they get a 2-for-1 out of this. We'll see. This is Velasquez receiving a pair of screens. Waterman, 15 to shoot, hands it off to Mick. Mick uses the Vargas screen into the corner for Mallory. Good open look is short. Here come the Setters, and no chance for a 2-for-1. So Oyekanmi takes it all the way, and blocking foul is the call underneath. It looked like Velasquez was in the restricted area. We'll take a look at the replay in just a moment.
Yeah, and we'll take a look here at that replay. And
it looks like I was wrong, Nick.
I think he was above the restricted area.
He sure was. And
so it certainly should not have been a foul called on him.
I was mistaken, as was the official, if that was the reason he didn't get the call. And that one's off back iron, no good by Oyekanmi. 28.7 on the clock. So following this free throw, if it is a make or if CSI can get the board, they have the last shot of the first half. And Oyekanmi goes 1 of 2 from the line. Dolphins lead by 4. And they will have the final possession of the first half, barring a turnover. This is Mick. Inside of 20 seconds to go in the half, and the Dolphins bench will call a timeout with 17.7 on the clock. It will be a 30-second timeout, so we will stay right here. Nick, perhaps some expectations for a diagrammed play coming out of this timeout on your end?
Well, with 4 timeouts left, good job there by Coach Durant to call the timeout and set up a play here. I would certainly think that we are going to see the ball get into Mick's hand, and it'll be up to him if he wants to shoot that or dish it off to Mallory. We'll see who actually ends up inbounding this ball, though. And we're going to go with Waterman, Mick, Vargas, Mallory, of course, and Shkolny is in to inbound this ball.
15 seconds to go in the half. Dolphins will hold for one final shot. Or not, as Waterman tries the 3, and it is no good. Rebound goes to the Setters. They have 5 seconds. They push it up the floor. McAllister drives inside. Ball knocked away, and possession will stay with pace. 0.6 on the clock. You can get a shot up in 0.6. That's Powell. He got it off and nearly put it in as time runs out in the first half with the Dolphins leading 32-28. And Nick, what a half for CSI, perhaps shocking a lot of people as they take the lead into the halftime locker room.
Great job by the Dolphins there. What a first half. They came out with the hot shooting. The 5 early points by none other than Messiah Mallory are the difference at this point.
So a great start for Messiah Mallory. He finishes the first half with 15 points on 5 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 5 from downtown. Austin Mick also with a good half, 9 points, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. Bryce Waterman hit 1 of his 3-point attempts as well. The Dolphins with 32 points in the first half, not quite on pace for a season high yet, but defensively they did a tremendous job against a very tough Pace University offense. And more importantly for the Setters, Brian Powell, their leading scorer, was relegated to the bench with foul trouble. He had 2 early fouls, didn't see much action on the court late in the first half. I have a feeling the Dolphins are going to see a lot more of him in half number 2, and we will see what their response is to his presence on the floor. But that is all for the first half. When Nick and I come back, it may be a few minutes ahead of the start of the second half, perhaps a bit of an extended halftime show when we return here on the ECC Network. Dolphins lead the Setters 32-28.
You Know I'm Right is a one-of-a-kind podcast that consistently features prominent guests in the sports, media, and entertainment industries. On the show, hosts Nick and Joe chronologically walk guests through the retelling of their origin stories, covering an array of topics from specific interests and hobbies to personal opinions regarding each facet of their industry. You Know I'm Right offers insight on how to adapt and advance, and offers alternative advice as opposed to a one-size-fits-all strategy. Above all else, the number one goal of You Know I'm Right is to offer listeners an exclusive behind-the-scenes vantage point not found anywhere else through its increasing list of professional connections. With an outreach that continues to grow daily, You Know I'm Right is transforming into a must-listen podcast in the right place at the right time. Find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You do not want to miss an episode. You Know
I'm right.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Are back from the tank. Joe Foreman rejoining you as Nick makes his way in from the right side of the screen. He is doubling as both my color commentary and my engineer in this game. Nick, a very entertaining first half, and for fans of both teams, perhaps a bit of a surprising score right now. The Dolphins taking a 4-point lead into the halftime break.
Who saw this coming, Joe? We talked about it in the pregame. If the Dolphins wanted to keep pace with the pace setters, they needed to make those shots. And boy, oh boy, did they ever. Austin Mick, 9 points, 3 for 6 from three-point range. And Messiah Mallory going off in the first half, 5 for 9, 2 for 5 from three-point range, 15 points for him.
The Dolphins red hot to open up the afternoon, got off to a scorching start from the floor, but in the first half, both teams did not shoot the ball particularly well overall. They finished with identical 37% shooting percentages in the first half. Both sides 10 of 27 from the field, but Nick, the difference in the first half was three-point shooting.
Absolutely, no doubt about it, and the Dolphins only had 2 points in the paint in the first half, so it's all about the threes there, and also they did a good job on the glass, 20 rebounds in the first half.
Dolphins won the battle on the boards 20-16, but from three-point range, the Dolphins in the first half hit 6 threes, and for pace, they only hit 3. Those 9 points really paying off right now on the scoreboard for CSI. You mentioned, Nick, the disparity in the paint, but we saw a return to form for Austin Mick early in this game.
Yeah, Mick was hot. He had a few threes in a row, but they were answered quickly by Constant for pace. He had 9 points as well in the first half, all on the three-pointers. Him and Mick were trading threes there for about a 2-minute stretch. It was very exciting.
It was Constant for the setters, along with Dominic Cristiano, who led the way in scoring. Constant had 9 points, and Cristiano had 7. For the College of Staten Island, we already mentioned the performance of Austin Mick. He had 3 three-pointers, giving him 9, but he wasn't the only Dolphin who was on at the offensive end during the first half.
Yeah, I mentioned it before. Mallory had a great first half, 15 points, so that was really good by him. And overall, Waterman had a pretty solid first half. He scored the first 5 points. If you look right now at the scoreboard, 5-point difference, so a 4-point difference, so he's playing great dividends. He got him off that hot start, and the Dolphins are now look back.
And we spoke about it at the top of the show. A key for the Dolphins would be their intensity at the defensive end of the floor. And Nick, the Dolphins have done a great job defensively in this game, especially around the basket. You mentioned it, 14 points in the paint to 2, but that's only 14 points in the paint. And for the setters, only 28 points in the first half. This is a team that is typically accustomed to scoring at a much higher rate.
Yeah, and I was speaking with one of their supporters here at halftime, who is the head coach Healing's uncle, and he said a very uncharacteristic start to a game here for pace. He said actually at a certain point to send a message, specifically to the Powell brothers, Healing put in his third stringers. So we'll see how much of an impact the Powell brothers play here in the second half. Of course, you mentioned it at the end of the first half. They were in some foul trouble, so we didn't see them too much. And I'm going to go ahead and get ready to engineer here. And Joe, you will take us into the second half.
Thank you, Nick. So with 1 minute on the clock ahead of the start of the second half, Nick and I will step aside and take a break. When we come back, the second half of this NCAA Division II men's basketball contest between the College of Staten Island and Pace University resumes right here on the ECC Network.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
And we are back from the tank. Dolphins lead by 4, second half just getting underway from the College of Staten Island as the Setters cannot convert on their first attempt of the half inside. This is Powell back to the basket, and he is rejected by Mallory, but he lost it out of bounds.
And we want to, of course, give a shout-out to men's baseball coach Michael Morrow, of course, who, once again, bringing us some hot pretzels as you get a look inside the booth here. And Joe Masha brought them down for us while we were on the court for the halftime show.
Another possession for Pace, and they make the most of it as Mark Datica is able to bank it in with the left hand. The Setters bench coming out with a lot of energy in this second half as Mick goes down and is able to keep possession. This is Mallory. Mallory to Mick. Mick with a fake, now has Mallory again. Waterman drives to his left. Step back jumper by Waterman, too strong.
Good look, though, by Waterman. Unfortunately for him, it just could not fall.
Powell thought about the three. He spent a lot of the first half on the bench. Brian Powell got in early foul trouble as that floater by Jacobs is good, and the Setters have very quickly tied up the score.
Well, Joe, we knew it wasn't going to be easy for the Dolphins, but they need to continue to do what they did early in the first half here if they want to win this game.
Mick to Velasquez. Bounce pass for Mallory is off the mark and out of bounds, so a very rough start to the second half for CSI.
Not ideal for the Dolphins.
Score even at 32. Jacobs bounce pass inside. This is Datica. Datica against Vargas. Right-handed hook is good, and the Setters have taken the lead.
First lead of the game. Datica coming out here strong in the second half, using all of his height, all 6'8" of his wingspan.
And the Dolphins throw it away again. CSI looks a bit shaken right now coming out of the halftime locker room.
Pace scores here in this possession. Might need a timeout, but it looks like we're going to have a timeout right now anyway.
A 30-second timeout called by the Dolphins bench, so we will stay right here. And Nick, the Dolphins have just been sloppy with the basketball to open up the second half. They've thrown it away twice and haven't gotten a shot off yet. So, of course, CSI needs to change that at the offensive end of the floor. I should say we've gotten one shot off. It was Waterman who attempted a step back on the baseline. But nonetheless, a sloppy start to the half for CSI. A renewed intensity coming from the Setters.
Yes, Setters got focused at halftime. Dolphins not used to playing with the lead, especially in the second half. So came out of the lackadaisical here, sloppy with the ball. And the Setters were able to capitalize, and now they have their first lead of the game, 34-32, with 18 minutes and 3 seconds left here to play.
For the Dolphins, we mentioned it, the standouts in half number one, Austin Mick, Messiah Mallory on the other side. For the Setters, Matt Constant and Dominic Cristiano leading the way in scoring in the first half. But you said it, Nick, perhaps Matt Healing trying to send a message to his team, some of the third stringers out there for the Setters in the first half. And we do not expect that to be the case, obviously, here to open up the second half as we see the starting five back on the floor. And that starting five has responded so far in half number two.
Yeah, so whatever message Matt Healing was trying to send to his starting five, they heard it loud and clear. And they've come out playing well, forcing turnovers and scoring here to start the second half.
We will see if Dolphins head coach Nick Duran was able to light a fire under his team during that last timeout. This is Powell, triple teamed under the basket, and he finds Brandon Powell, who knocks it down from the top of the arc, and the Setters lead by 5.
Powell, his first points of the game coming here in the second half, which is not something we expected coming into this one.
CSI needs a basket in the worst way right now. This second half has been all Setters to this point, a 9-0 run in the first 2.5 minutes of half number 2. That's Mallory. His jumper is short. Here comes Pace. Powell taking it to the rim, dumps it off to Powell, who lays it in. Brian to Brandon on the fast break. And we have a whistle and a foul called. I think the official signaled 14.
Setters foul number 14, Brandon Powell, his first.
Foul charge to Brandon Powell, his first. Pace lead is now 7 points.
11-0 run here for Pace to start this half.
Mick uses the Ashley screen. Mid-range pull-up wide open for Mick, and it rolls in.
Well, much needed points here for the Dolphins to end that run. And Mick gets it done.
The Dolphins had to have that one, as that breaks the 11-0 run for now. This is Jacobs taking it inside, and he is fouled by Michael Ashley, who comes in and immediately picks up his third.
Dolphins foul number 30.
Pace going to the line here for the first time in the second half, and they were able to use those free throws to their advantage at the end of the first to draw closer.
Jacobs to the line for a pair. And that one no good. Jacobs just 1 of 6 from the floor in this game with that free throw. He is now 0 of 1 from the stripe. Second attempt by Jacobs, also no good, and Mallory chases it down. And I think the officials may have missed that one as Velasquez walked with it. Didn't have clean handle. Almost lost it again. 15 to shoot for CSI. Velasquez to Mallory. Now Waterman in the corner. Bounce pass to Ashley, and he is stripped. Another Dolphins turnover. Here comes Powell on the baseline. Good defense by Mick. The pass is knocked down. Powell is stripped. Datica wide open on the baseline, but he couldn't pull it in. An out of control sequence there as neither team wanted it. And ultimately, it will be Dolphins basketball on the other side of this media timeout. Our score just over 4 minutes into the second half. The Setters 39 and the Dolphins 34. More NCAA Division II men's basketball when we come back on the ECC Network.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we're back on the ECC Network, and the Dolphins are hoping to avoid seeing this game get away from them. Their deficit only 5 early in the second half, but since the second half has gotten started, it has been all Pace University. We saw the Dolphins come out red hot to open up the first half, but these last 4 minutes have been all setters.
Dolphins here need to maintain possession, stop with the turnovers, get good open shots, and make them if they want to keep pace.
There's a good open look as Bryce Waterman can't connect on the three.
Good rebound by Ashley.
Velasquez left corner, and he hits.
Chris Vasquez for three.
Looks like we have an injury as Christian Adams heads to the bench for Pace University. Big three there, though, for the Dolphins, as Velasquez is able to get it, and that was all made on a second chance after a great offensive rebound by Michael Ashley.
Velasquez turned the net inside out with that last three-pointer, bringing the Dolphins back to within 2. And the setters can't answer at the other end. A big rebound as well by Velasquez. He tosses it back to Mick for the lead, and that three-pointer is good. Mick is fired up, and the Dolphins are back in front by 1.
Bada bing, bada boom. Austin Mick bringing life back to the room. Makes the big three and unravels the net as well.
Dolphins lead is a single point. This is Jacobs. Kick out. Left wing Powell. He drives inside. Met by Ashley and Mick. And the Dolphins are whistled for the foul. And for Michael Ashley, that will be his 4th.
Take a look at that big three by Mick to give the Dolphins back the lead. The bench gets up there. They were pumped.
That is as fired up as we have seen this Dolphins team all season long. And if you're a fan of CSI, you love to see that, as the Dolphins have not had many chances to celebrate on their home floor this year. Haven't led much throughout the year. Led for the majority of that first half. In fact, I think they led for all of the first half.
Ashley in major foul trouble. We probably will not be seeing much of him for the next 10 minutes.
He now has 4, as both teams now with 40 points. Vargas open underneath, a good feed from Velasquez, but the setters swarm around Vargas. He has an open Mick. The three-pointer is good. Austin Mick again from downtown, and the Dolphins are back in front by 3.
What can I say, Joe? Another Mickey 3. Austin Mick coming through in the clutch here for the Dolphins.
Dolphins leading 43-40 with 14 minutes to go in the second half. This is Powell inside, and he draws another foul.
Dolphins need to be careful here with the fouls. As you could see, Messiah Mallory getting chewed out by assistant coach Kurt Mancy.
Dolphins with 3 early fouls here in the second half. 2 of those committed by Michael Ashley, who has been relegated to the bench. First free throw by Brandon Powell is good. Setters back to within 2 and make it 1 as Powell goes 2 of 2 from the stripe.
Overall, for the most part here, the setters have been able to capitalize from the free throw line.
This is Mick. Kick out. Open 3. Chris Velasquez, and that is a CV3 as the Dolphins lead is back to 4.
Velasquez with his second 3 here of the half. And the Dolphins need to continue this hot shooting.
Dolphins in front, 46-42. This is Powell working against Mick. Drives and was looking for the big man underneath. That was Cristiano, but the pass is off of his fingertips and out of bounds.
Excellent job, Joe, by the Dolphins to overcome that great run to start the half by Pace. Durant called a great timeout. Dolphins have now been aided by a bunch of great three-pointers by Velasquez and Mick, gotten them back ahead here, 46-42.
46-42 Staten Island. This is Velasquez. Around the back dribble, kick out to Mick. Mick, 10 to shoot. Looking for somewhere to go with it, that's Mallory. Waterman drives, kick out, open Mallory for three, and the Dolphins connect again from downtown. Messiah Mallory for three, and the Dolphins lead by 7.
Absolutely incredible ball movement. We'll take a look here, an extended look in lieu of a quick commercial here at all that great ball movement as you take a look here on your screen. Mick has the ball. He's getting double teamed. Kicks it to Mallory. Mallory across to Waterman. Waterman drives to the lane. Kicks out to Mallory, who's wide open. Shoots the three, and it's good. And the Dolphins are now up 49-42, Joe. Incredible job here by the Dolphins with the hot three-point shooting in the second half.
The Dolphins responding after the Setters opened up the half on a 9-0 run. And you could feel it in the building, things getting a bit quieter after Pace University came out and hit the Dolphins hard to open up half number 2. But what a response by the home team as the Dolphins are now back in front by 7. They trailed by as many as 7 points in this half. So a 14-point turnaround. Dolphins leading by 7 coming out of the timeout. 12:58 on the clock in the second half. And the Dolphins quickly come away with a steal, but Velasquez lost it underneath. So the Dolphins immediately forcing a turnover out of the timeout, but could not capitalize.
Max Dillon Butler will check back into the game here as Chris Velasquez
Number 2, Max Dillon Butler.
checks out.
Butler had himself a good night against the Delphi in the Dolphins' last game. Limited minutes for him in the first half of today's game. This is Powell, double-teamed underneath. The pass was tipped, and it is stolen by Waterman. This is Mick, up to Butler. Dolphins will slow it down. Butler for Waterman. And Oyakanmi was all over Waterman. He knocks it out of bounds with 20 to shoot. This is Mick. He will use the Vargas screen. Mick drives to his left. Kick out. Mallory back to Mick. He pulls it in with 5 on the shot clock. Butler around the back. Drives left. Butler, nice move underneath, and he banks it in. Max Dillon Butler off glass, and the Dolphins lead is 9.
The Butler serves up a buzzer beater. Good job by him to remain calm with the shot clock going down. Makes a few moves there and lays it up and in off the glass.
The Dolphins are now 7 of 10 from the field in the second half. The Setters 5 of 8.
We'll take a quick look at that replay first, Joe, before you throw us to break, as Butler able to lay it up and in to beat the shot clock.
Just ahead of the buzzer was Max Dillon Butler, and as you said, Nick, he serves one up off glass, puts the Dolphins in front by 9. Our score when we come back from this break, 51-42, College of Staten Island over Pace University in the second half.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
And we are back from the College of Staten Island, and Nick, the Dolphins, with a 16-point turnaround here in the second half, have taken a 9-point lead with inside of 12 minutes to play.
Yeah, Joe, and to quote New York Jets head coach Robert Saleh, all gas, no brakes. That's what the Dolphins need to continue to do here in the second half. They can't sit back here. Pace scores a lot of points. I'm not exactly sure what their season low is, but they're going to score eventually here. You can't expect for this game to end with a low score.
The Dolphins came out a bit sluggish, as I've mentioned several times already, to open up this second half, but have really turned things around since. And The Setters appear discombobulated at the offensive end right now. They gave the Dolphins their best shot to open up half number 2, and CSI with the response. We would like to welcome in 2 of our most loyal viewers, as Dave and Jennifer Pizzuto have both just tuned in. We, of course, welcome them to the broadcast. This is always Dave's show. He is the mastermind behind CSI Sportsnet. And, of course, Jen has been our loyal viewer for years, and I'm sure they're watching alongside their dogs at home right now. So we thank them both for tuning in, as that last shot brings the Setters back to within 6. And the Dolphins with another ugly turnover. Here comes Matt Constant, and he lays it in. Dolphins lead cut down to 4. Timeout, Staten Island. A 30-second timeout, so we will stay right here. And Nick, just as we began to sing the Dolphins' praises coming out of that last timeout, their lead was 9. Just seconds later, the lead cut down to 4.
Yeah, maybe it's because Dave tuned in. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Dave, we would not be here without you. We're looking forward to seeing you next week for the men's alumni game. Hopefully you'll be in the building. But the Pace University Setters look discombobulated on 2 possessions after their timeout, but they got it going there. They got the turnovers, 2 easy layups. And once again, this is only a 4-point game.
We will see what response the Staten Island team has coming out of this timeout, as the Dolphins have given the Setters their best here this afternoon. By far the best performance of the season for the CSI team. Can they close, as they lead it with 10:54 on the clock in the second half in search of their first win of the season? The Setters looking to stay unbeaten. They came into the tank 7-0. Butler to Mick, back to Butler, and Waterman lost it as Powell comes away with the steal.
The second half, Joe, has been all a bunch of runs. There hasn't been much back and forth on multiple possessions here.
This is Constant. Kick out into the left corner. Oyekanmi's 3 in and out. Rebound tipped up into the air, knocked away by the Dolphins, and it will remain Setters basketball.
Dolphins here need to boggle down defensively and turn the wheels of momentum back in their favor.
Fresh 20 seconds for the Setters to shoot. This is Constant inside to Datica. Post spin, and he throws up an air ball. Good defense on the interior by CSI.
Great defense there by Vargas. The Setters supporters wanted a foul, but it was all clean.
You might be able to hear it over our microphones as Mick will try again, and he knocks it down from the right wing.
Austin, unbelievable with the 3-pointers here in the second half as Mick knocks out another one. 20 points here for him this afternoon.
Well, that's a second half McTriple for Austin, as that one's off the back iron. No good from Powell. Rebounded by Vargas. And here comes Butler up to Waterman. And Waterman looked to have left his feet, but he knocks down the 3. Gives us a point here at the commentary desk. And Bryce Waterman puts the Dolphins back up by double digits.
It's Bryce time. Amazing job by him to nail that 3-pointer.
Well, Waterman got away with a travel as Oyekanmi answers back with a 3-pointer of his own.
57-50, 9 minutes left here in the tank. Dolphins ahead.
Mick to Waterman, and we said it during the pregame, Nick. If the Dolphins could get Mick and Waterman knocking down shots at the same time, that would be huge for this team. As Mick tries again, off back iron, no good, and rebounded by Oyekanmi.
Tough attempt there from far away, but just a little too strong, and it bounces off the rim.
This is Constant, guarded by Mick. Oyekanmi driving against Waterman. He gets all the way to the rim and draws the foul.
5th foul here on the Dolphins. Setters have no fouls, so certainly something to keep an eye on here with 8.5 minutes left in this.
The The Dolphins quickly committing 3 team fouls within just a couple of minutes to open up the second half. So I think if you told the Dolphins bench they would only have 5 team fouls at this point, they would have taken it. As an eerie silence once again falls over the tank during these free throw attempts.
Joe, and it's always like during the silence here, it's almost like we're broadcasting to the whole tank here. But I think the Fanatics need to really get it going here and carry the Dolphins home to a victory with some big-time energy.
A much bigger turnout for the Fanatics typically during those weeknight games. The weekends and afternoon games have been tough, especially on Saturday and Sunday.
Especially single games, not doubles.
This is Waterman, good open look, top of the arc, too strong. Velasquez fighting for the rebound, and he will be unable to keep possession with CSI. Dolphins' lead is 5. The last 5 points scored by Pace University. 8:10 on the clock. This is Datica, handoff to Jacobs. Powell, left wing three-pointer. No good. Tipped away by Vargas off the fingertips of Datica, and I'm not sure about that call either, as we have a timeout. And it will be a media timeout inside of 8 minutes. So when we come back from this break, the Dolphins lead by 5 as we have a technical foul called against Setter's head coach, Matt Healing. He is hot after that last call, and I'm not sure I could blame him. We will talk more about that on the other side of this commercial break.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And as we return from break, Bryce Waterman at the line for 2 technical foul free throws, as Matt Healing was called for the tech ahead of the break. But Nick, as I mentioned, I think he may have had a point. It looked like Vargas had tipped that ball out of bounds, but on top of the call, I think there's a lot of frustration mounting over on the Setter's bench, as right now they find themselves trailing by 7, an unbeaten record on the line. The winless Dolphins within 7 minutes and 45 seconds of their first victory, as Messiah Mallory is whistled for the offensive foul. He pushed off on that last drive.
Yeah, well, Healing, he probably has a valid grief here. I mean, we'll take a quick look as we got a moment.
Very tough to tell.
Very tough. Bang, bang. So maybe it's not as obvious as Healing thought. But overall, I think he's just not very happy with what he's been seeing from his team. But good job there by them to drill that shot.
Setters back to within 5 points inside of 7.5 minutes to play in the second half. Mick looking for somewhere to go. This is Mallory from Velasquez, back out to Waterman. Right corner 3, and Bryce Waterman knocks down another.
Waterman for 3.
Waterman keeping it hot here. 13 points now, mostly by the three-pointers.
7 minutes to play. Dolphins back in front by 8. Jacobs in heavy traffic. His attempt no good. Here comes Velasquez. Velasquez to Mick. Open three-pointer for Mick, and he knocks it down again. Austin Mick for three, and the Dolphins, with their largest lead of the game, are in front by 11 points.
Austin, I know I said Mick with the incredible three-point shooting here this afternoon.
That attempt inside, once again, no good, and we had a whistle. If that's against Ashley, that's his fifth, and Ashley is called for the foul.
Number 34, Michael Ashley, his fifth, team seventh.
That last three by Austin Mick was his seventh.
We've seen Mick light up the court before, especially here at the Tank. And we're going to have a timeout here from the Dolphins, and Ashley will ultimately come out of this game as Skolny will come back in.
So the Dolphins with their largest lead of 11 points, and Nick, it has been a roller coaster ride here in the second half. It was all setters in the opening minutes of half number 2. The Dolphins responded, and with the Dolphins trailing by as many as 7 points in the second half, we have now seen an 18-point turnaround. CSI by 11, 6:29 on the clock, but for Pace, this situation ideal. The clock is stopped, and they're at the free throw line.
Yes, and plenty of time left here for Pace. And if they could take advantage of these free throws, again, Dolphins have 7 fouls, setter 0 here in the second half, so it's going to play a major factor in the last 6.5 minutes.
The front half of the 1-and-1 good from Datica. He makes it 2 of 2 from the stripe. Pace back to within single digits. The Dolphins' lead is 9. This is Mallory to Skolny. Skolny for Waterman in the corner. Open three. Too strong. But Mick is able to strip the ball away and was whistled for the foul. Austin can't believe it, but for the Dolphins, that team foul is their 8th. And we apologize for that brief loss of our feed as we had a power outage here at the commentary desk, but coming out of our unintended break, the setters charging down the floor and converting through contact and one as the Dolphins commit their 9th team foul. That is Messiah Mallory's 3rd personal. The setters are back to within 5 and will head to the line for one more, as Brandon Powell has trimmed the Dolphins' lead back down to 4 points.
Good job by Powell there to convert. And it's now a 4-point game.
Velasquez, cross-court pass to Mick. Mallory in the corner. Now Mick to Velasquez. 15 to shoot. Velasquez gets a screen from Skolny. He takes it all the way to the rim. An offensive foul is the call.
Good job there by Velasquez to draw that foul earlier in the game. Oh, it's... So 10-0 there. Velasquez cannot believe it that he made that foul.
4 points is the lead for CSI. 5:20 remaining in the second half. Plenty of time for Pace. That's Datica. Kick out to Powell. Powell backing his way inside. He's double teamed. Shot attempt over Mallory. Rims out. And a foul called against Pace underneath. And Nick, remarkably, that is only the first team foul against Pace in the second half.
Yeah, Joe, they've done a tremendous job not fouling here. And it's a huge reason why they're only trailing by 4 points at this point.
This is Butler to Mick. Waterman back to Mick. Now Butler. 15 to shoot. Butler looking for somewhere to go. 10 on the shot clock. Mick in the corner. Step back three is blocked. Powell ahead of the field, but Mallory knocks it down. and the setters will have to slow it down. Feed inside for Datica. He does a great job to pull it in and then finishes.
4 Dolphins draped all over him, and he's still able to convert that basket. Great job by him.
Mark Datica has cut the Dolphins' lead to 2. This is Shkolny. Shkolny draws the foul, but that is only the second team foul on Pace.
We'll see who's going to inbound here. I think it's going to be Butler.
Butler for Shkolny. Dolphins barely got it in. Shkolny to the rim, and a nice move there by David Shkolny.
Shkolny picked a great time for his first 2 points of the game right there.
A huge basket for the Dolphins. Easily the biggest of his CSI tenure. And Powell, looking for Datica, threw it away. A costly turnover right there with inside of 4 minutes to play in the second half by Pace. We will take what will likely be our final media timeout of the game. Dolphins lead by 4 when we come back.
Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades. It was my sophomore indoor season. It was the first year with our new head coach. And he comes in and he's like, we could be a national contending team if you guys work hard. And I heard him and I was like, well, I want to be a national champion. I want to be an All-American. And I bought in because he bought into our team. And I qualified to go to indoor nationals. I decided I wanted it, so I went and grabbed it.
And we are back from the College of Staten Island. The Dolphins lead Pace University by 4. CSI looking for their first win of the season, and the Setters are looking to stay unbeaten. They come in 7-0. That unbeaten record in jeopardy right now as the Dolphins have a 4-point lead under 4 minutes to go, and CSI has possession of the basketball. What a grab there by Messiah Mallory off the long ball from Shkolny. CSI with 20 to shoot. This is Mick. Every stop critical right now for Pace. Shkolny spins and is stripped, but Mick gets it back. Open three-pointer. It rolls off the rim and is rebounded by Datica. Jump ball is the call. What an effort by David Shkolny. Possession will stay with the Dolphins.
Great, gritty performance here by Shkolny down the stretch. Joe, if Mick hit that three, the roof would have blown off this place.
That would have been his 8th. This is Mallory. Handoff to Mick. Mick on the drive. Kick out. Mallory, wide open three-pointer. Too long. And the rebound goes to Oyakanmi. 3:15 to go in the second half. This is Datica working against Mallory. Mallory, no match for Datica right there as he finishes the hook shot. Dolphins don't have any fouls to give. The Setters have 4. CSI lead is 2 points. This is Butler driving inside and a wild pass. He says he was fouled. Mallory with the steal, and he's tripped up. And the foul was charged to Datica. That's his second, only the 3rd for Pace. So a great job to stay out of foul trouble by the Setters in this game.
Mallory clearly in pain. Velasquez back in the game for Butler.
15 to shoot for CSI. Mick gets a screen from Shkolny. 8 to shoot for CSI, and they turn it over. Setters with a chance to tie or take the lead. Powell out to Constant. Oyekemi. Handoff to Jacobs, 20 on the shot clock. Jacobs defended by Velasquez. He drives into the paint, picks up his dribble, bounce pass, and Powell could not finish.
Pace there denied the chance to tie the game.
A rough afternoon for the leading scorer on this Pace team. He only has 2 points. This is Mick on the drive, and the scoop layup is good. Austin Mick with a huge game for CSI. No basket bigger than that one right now.
Who said Mick is only a three-point shooter? What a move to the basket to lay it up and in with his left hand.
Datica thought about a three, nearly threw it away. This is Oyekemi on the floater, and the Dolphins knock it out of bounds. 20 on the shot clock for Pace.
4-point lead here for the Dolphins with a minute and a half left. They can get a big stop here and score. They might be in good shape.
This is Powell, and he lost the ball. So now the Dolphins are in a position where if they score, this game may just come down to free throw shooting.
Yes. So I would say here, set up a nice play. Don't force anything. Look for the open shooter. Get somebody open. That's how the Dolphins have gotten this lead here to this point anyway.
The Dolphins 8 of 10 from the free throw line in this game. But they need to score here for that to matter even more. As Mick is fouled on the drive, and he will head to the line for 2.
Huge free throws here for the Dolphins and Mick.
This place is about to get very quiet with Austin Mick at the line, a chance to put CSI up by 6 points. Mick's first free throw is perfect. Dolphins in front by 5. Austin Mick now has 26 points. Make it 27. What a game for Mick. Can the Dolphins close? They lead by 6 with 1 minute to play. That's Powell, and he is rejected by Mallory. And Powell tips it up in the air, affording the Setters another possession. This is Datica, and he gets Pace a much-needed basket. He is fired up, but the Dolphins still lead by 2 possessions with 54.7 on the clock. A 30-second timeout was called, and the Dolphins will have it with 54.7. Nick, I think we're at a point in the game where the Setters have to foul.
Well, Joe, Datica has been tremendous right now as he's able to keep them in this game and get them back into it. 17 points. We'll see what Pace is going to draw up here. I think they're going to try to deny the inbound, but then you would think they're going to foul because the last thing Pace wants right now is for the Dolphins to hit a three-pointer and then totally put this game out of range for a comeback for the Setters.
If you're the Setters, there are only 2 approaches right here. You either play this out and hope for a turnover or a stop, or you immediately foul CSI and send them to the free throw line, knowing that at worst, it's a 2-possession game, and you can play for a 2-for-1. We'll see what Matt Healing looks to do. I think they'll try and force the turnover first.
Get the ball in.
And the Dolphins turn it over immediately on the inbound. But Oyekemi threw up a wild shot and somehow got it to go. Down goes Velasquez, and he stepped on the sideline. Wow.
Wow, Joe. Amazing job by head coach Matt Healing in the huddle there. They get the turnover, and then they force Velasquez into a corner. Maybe Velasquez thought he was going to get fouled, but there would have been no reason for Pace to foul. They're only down 2 with 48 seconds left.
A complete disaster for the Dolphins as now the setters can tie or take the lead. Last shot may belong to CSI if the setters use the entire shot clock. This is Datica working against Mallory. Backing in, hook shot, no good, but he is fouled with 33 seconds to play.
Setters here, the opportunity to tie this game, and it's all because of Datica, who has been incredible here in this second half.
Can Datica get the job done from the line? He has 2 free throws coming up. His team trailing by a pair, and the first is good. Now, Nick, the Dolphins could potentially play for the last shot if they take a shot in the closing seconds of their next possession. We'll see if that will be in a tie game or not. And the setters likely have to foul. And Shkolny is fouled. And Nick, I don't know about that one.
I don't think so, Joe, but the Dolphins will take it. But even so here, the setters have to do quite a bit more fouling to even get the Dolphins to the free throw line. Only 5 fouls.
Setters will have to commit 2 more fouls to put the Dolphins in a 1-and-1 situation. Valuable seconds ticking away as Shkolny continues to dribble. He has Velasquez. The setters still haven't fouled. This is Mick, and he is fouled, but once again, the Dolphins are not yet in a 1-and-1 bonus, so the setters have allowed almost 19 seconds to elapse since the first Dolphins inbound.
Dolphins here need to just get it in, and whoever gets it needs to just hold the ball. There's no point to put the ball to the floor and dribble. But you need to get the ball in.
And Nick Duran calls the Dolphins' final timeout with 14.7 on the clock. And if you're the Dolphins, you want to get the ball to Austin Mick right here.
Yes, but at minimum, you have to get the ball, and you can't have a turnover because you cannot inbound it. So it's going to be very crucial here to inbound the ball properly. We'll see who inbounds here. If Shkolny does the inbounding again, perhaps you want to bring in somebody big here off the bench to either get the inbound or catch it, get some height. But whoever gets the ball on the inbound, if they're able to inbound it, Joe, should not dribble the ball. Just
Correct.
hold the ball. There's no point to dribble.
Correct. I'm sure that is being discussed in the Dolphins huddle right now. But, Nick, free throw numbers for the Dolphins this year. Bryce Waterman, 5 of 5 entering today's game. Michael Ashley, 8 of 8. He is fouled out. Max Dillon Butler, 4 for 4. Chris Velasquez, 8 of 12. Messiah Mallory, 5 of 9. And Austin Mick was 1 of 1 entering today's game. But Mick is perfect from the line this afternoon, 2 of 2. That makes him 3 of 3 on the season. A great free throw shooter throughout his Dolphins career. And if CSI has their pick, they would like to get him the ball off of this inbounds play.
Most important thing here, Joe, is to be able to inbound it.
Shkolny gets it to Waterman, and he is fouled. So a 1-and-1 situation for the Dolphins at the free throw line. Bryce Waterman will be the free throw shooter, and as I just mentioned, he is 5 of 5 from the line this season. Waterman's first free throw is perfect.
14 points now for Waterman. None bigger than that.
Ice water in his veins. Can Waterman make it 2 of 2 and put the Dolphins up by 3? He can. 13.2 on the clock. The setters have 1 timeout. Driving is Powell. He looks for the quick 2. The rebound tipped away. Mallory pulls it in. And with 4.6 seconds left, the Dolphins will head to the line for a 1-and-1. If CSI can bury the first of these 2 free throws, the road back becomes infinitely more difficult for Pace University.
Yeah, Joe, I think if they miss the free throw, Dolphins should perhaps consider fouling because it'd be tough.
And the free throw is off the mark. 3 seconds to shoot. Here comes Powell. He tries the three. It is off the front rim, no good. And the Dolphins win it. Their first victory of the season as they have knocked off the unbeaten Pace University Setters, who are now 7-1 on the season. The victory for CSI is their first of the year. They are now 1-5. The Dolphins win it 73-70.
Wow, Joe. Big ending here for the Dolphins. I was going to say there, Joe, they should have just fouled because if they only go to the free throw line, they can only make 2, but they give up the opportunity for a three-pointer nonetheless. And the Dolphins are victorious, 73-70. Coach Nick Durant's first victory as a head coach, and the team is mauling him right now. As you get a good look on the screen, they are going wild. And we are expecting some post-game interviews here, no doubt about it. So we got the team go into the tunnel, and now Joe is going to have an interview here for post-game with all.
We are courtside with today's star of the game, Austin Mick, joining us in Austin. A great showing for you and your team tonight. How good does it feel to get that first victory?
It feels amazing. Our first win, Division II, young group, all these young kids trying to lead them throughout the year. It finally paid off, all that work that we did in the preseason, during the season, all the lumps we took at the beginning of this season. It feels great.
Your shot was on the mark in this game. You got hot early. How important was that to you? And, of course, your preparation. We see you out there on the court ahead of the game. How much of a role does that play as well?
I mean, my preparation, that's why I believe in it. So when I shoot, I think it's going in. I don't care if I miss it 18 times, 10 times, whatever. The next shot's going in. So it felt amazing today.
And, of course, head coach Nick Durant getting his first win. How good does it feel to be a part of Nick's first win?
That's my guy. That's really my guy. We've been through it all for the past 2 years. You know, it feels amazing. No one deserves it more than Nicky Beans, man. That's my guy.
Well, we've been calling your shots Mickey 3, so Nicky D and Mickey 3 with us here. And Nicky D is waiting off camera, so Austin, congratulations on the win. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
In the kitchen, hot on the stove, water getting boiled.
Joining us, Dolphins head coach Nick Durant, fresh off a Gatorade bath. Nick, how good does this first win feel?
I mean, I never thought feeling good in a suit when you're soaking wet would actually feel good, but I mean, it feels great. But the bigger thing is just a win for the kids. I mean, they played as hard as they can, and down the stretch, we have little impact on the game. They have all the impact, so it's just a great group.
And of course, the Setters coming in unbeaten. How good does it feel to hand them their first loss? And is this a game the team marked on their calendars ahead of the season? I know you saw Pace on the schedule 2 years ago when you were a member of the assistant coaching staff. Did the team remember that one coming into today's game?
Yeah, for sure, because the last time we played them, we didn't really compete. They came out and just dominated the game, so it's something as the coaching staff we had on our board all year. So we're just excited to come out and be able to play with them in a game, and then mainly win the game. But just being in the game is great.
And the team got off to a great start in today's game, a stark contrast to what we've seen earlier in the season. What changed in the early minutes of that first half that allowed your team to jump out to an early lead?
The biggest thing I've been preaching is just be us. Just be us, and we haven't been us. You know, we come out and we play what the other team is trying to play. So today we really were just us. That's who we really are on the court, for sure.
Coach, go join the celebration. Congratulations on the first win of the season.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Dolphins head coach Nick Durant joining us here on CSI Sportsnet. After a thrilling Dolphins win, CSI picks up the victory 73-70. So I'm going to step off camera for just a moment and turn it back over to my broadcast partner, Nick Durst, who will reconnect his headset and guide us back to our seats at the commentary desk. But once again, a thrilling game here from the College of Staten Island as the Dolphins defeat Pace University, handing the Setters their first loss of the season. Our final score, 73-70. Nick, take it away.
All right, Joe, excellent post-game interview there with, of course, Austin Mick, who is the senior leader of this team. Undoubtedly, he was very hot. And, of course, you also have head coach Nick Duran, who got this victory for the CSI Dolphins, and leading the way, of course, was Austin Mick, as we mentioned a moment ago. 27 points, 7 of 14 from three-point range. Bryce Waterman had a great day as well, 15 points. And Messiah Mallory was the second leading scorer with 18 points and 7 rebounds. Incredible team effort by the Dolphins.
It was a complete effort for the College of Staten Island in this game, as there is a raucous celebration going on in that locker room right now. And it has to feel good if you're a fan of this team or a fan of this program. And anyone who is in the building today knows the kind of energy that was here in the tank for today's matchup, both coming into this game and during this game. So a thriller here on the ECC Network ends with a 73-70 victory for the College of Staten Island. And for Nick and I, that wraps up today's broadcast, but be sure to tune in next weekend as the Dolphins will host not only their men's basketball alumni game first up as part of a triple header next Saturday here on the ECC Network, but they will also host conference rival Malloy College, both the men and women on the schedule for next weekend. So be sure to tune in for that. But until then, this has been Joe Foreman, and for my broadcast partner, Nick Durst, and all of us here at the College of Staten Island, we thank you for watching. Once again, our final score, the Dolphins 73 and the Setters 70. The Dolphins pick up their first victory of the season, moving to 1-5. The Setters drop to 7-1. Our next broadcast next Saturday, we tip off in the men's alumni game at approximately 11 a.m. So until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend.